This demonstration is going to reveal to you just why the pros look so effortless when they swing the golf club and they create so much speed, yet you often feel like you're putting so much effort in and don't quite get the same results. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the grip towards the golf ball, and then I'm going to move the grip towards me. What you're going to see is that he's going to kick the club head out and create speed so I can hit that ball. So I'm going to move the grip towards the ball, and then I'm going to curve it back towards me and just watch what happens. So the club head got kicked out, it got accelerated naturally, it made contact with the ball. That felt effortless. My contact point was the grip. My focus was on the grip. My focus was never on the club head. Now, if I do that again, pop another golf ball down there, what so many of you will be doing in your golf swing is thinking about the club head. And when we think about the club head and we try and force the club head out to the ball, look what it does to the grip. It actually forces it the opposite way. So we start to get movements which feel like they're a lot more effort, and look where the handle is, it's back. What I'm going to teach you in this video is how you can focus on the grip of the golf club to give you better impacts and effortless speed through impact. How does that work? Well, think about this analogy. Imagine you are in a speedboat, I'm sure you do it all the time, there's a bit of rope behind you and there's your friend in a dinghy. And that dinghy is just obviously following behind the speedboat. How do you create more speed in the dinghy to fling them out? Well, what you do when you're driving that speedboat, you sharply turn in one direction. What that does is it kicks the dinghy more out with speed. That's essentially what we're doing in the golf swing. So as we start to move that little demonstration into sort of golf posture, try this little demonstration. You're going to take the golf club and you're literally going to hold it between your index finger and your thumb, right at the top of the grip, and then your index finger and your thumb kind of halfway down the grip. Get yourself into posture. I've just got a mid-iron here, and I'm just going to put myself here, where the weight of the club is above my hand. Now from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus, not on the club head, but on this end. And I'm going to make this have a curved shape to it. So I'm going to move this grip down towards the golf ball, towards the target, and then I'm going to move it back up in towards my body. I'm putting a curve in the grip end of the golf club. And what you will feel very naturally is that movement of the grip kicks the club head out with speed without you having to manually do it. And I feel the club have speed, and that's not 120 mile an hour, I'm doing it very slow, but I feel the club head kicking out. So let's do that again. So we put a little curve in it and we pull it back up and the club head releases through. Now let's look at how that relates to impact and why thinking the club head is actually going to be harming your impact and your speed. Same thing, same grip, put the club into this position here. And what I'm going to make sure now is that grip is moving in the same direction. We're going to support that with a little bit of body turn, a little bit of body shift, a little bit of body turn to support the movement of the grip. And as we start to do that, we start to create a fair bit of speed in the club head, effortless. That's 2 fingers, remember, I've hardly got any contact with the club. And if I do get that again and pause at impact, what have we got? Shaft is leant forward, that's perfect for irons. We've got good body rotation and arm structure is excellent. And this is going to be completely eye-opening for you because this is what so many golfers do in the golf swing in an attempt to create speed and power in the club head. Their focus goes too much on the club head. Now what we know is that whatever you do to the club head, there's going to be opposite reaction. If you focus on the grip, the opposite reaction is in the club head. If you focus on the club head, the opposite reaction is in the grip. So try this. I'm going to take your normal grip this time, and you're going to put the club into the same sort of position here. But this time, I want your focus to be on the club head. Feel the weight of the club, sense where that weight is. And using your hands and arms, I want you to put as much speed into that club head as you can early. This is what lots of golfers do. They force the club head early into the golf ball. What is going to happen very naturally is you're going to get something like this. Look where those hands are. Because what we know is as the club head gets forced down, if I do it in this way, the grip is moving in the opposite direction. It's very, very hard, almost impossible, to get the grip forwards if the speed is in the club head early. Because as the speed is in the club head early, it naturally moves the grip in the opposite direction. It's actually forcing my hands further away from where I want them to be. So the more I force the club head down, the harder it's going to be for me to get my hands forwards. There's 2 things happening here. Number 1, I can't get that impact that the pros get. I can't get the handle forwards, I can't get the low point forwards, I can't get the compression. That's really detrimental to ball striking. And secondly, that feels like a lot more effort. I feel like I'm having to use a lot more energy and it's really compromising my impact. Now again, let's go back to our 2-finger drill, set the club, focus on the grip. That is completely different. That feels absolutely effortless. And look at the impact I'm able to get. So we want to start to build this into a golf swing now, and I've got a little kind of next drill that I'd like you to do. And then towards the end of the video, I'm going to show you a little trick on how you can use what we've learned today to help you if you're someone who's looking to draw your irons or reduce some kind of left to right or slice from your game. You can see I've placed the tee in the ground here pretty high, almost at kind of driver height. I want to take my standard grip now, but I want to now put myself in that same position where we had the weight of the club above the hands. I want to be moving the grip down, curving it around and pulling it back into me, and just having the sensation of the club head accelerating and essentially just clipping that tee. Now, if you're at a drive range, you can use one of the rubber tees and it will obviously stay there. With any luck, this tee will go forwards and out the ground. But it's really a case of keeping the grip pressure light and focusing on the grip end of the club, not the club head. So I'm going to have a couple of rehearsals. I'm going to curve it and pull it. I'm going to curve it and pull it, and then we go through. I clipped the tee, didn't come out the ground, but let's try that again. That was ideal. I really felt that club head accelerating out. And if you do that correctly, you're going to get those sensations that I really want you to feel. The weight of the club reacting to what you're doing to the grip. This is the key message in this video. So many golfers, and you'll be guilty of this, and you might know someone who's guilty of this. You know, from the top, there's so much effort or so much focus on the club head. They're trying to get the speed into the club head when really the focus should be on the grip. Now, the next stage after that, before we go through that little kind of draw technique, is just to put a ball on a tee and go ahead and do the same thing. The beauty with what we're doing is this movement, and you'll have felt this when you did this little drill where we had the finger and the thumb on the club, is that naturally the club is going to release and square up to the target because it's natural forces. So when I've got the ball on the tee, I'm simply going to start in this position again. This is always where we start from to get the weight of the club above our hands. Arc the grip down, back and up, and see how the golf ball will just get collected by the club because of the forces that I'm putting through the handle. Now, when you start to scale it up and you want more speed, let's say you're looking at full swings or driver, obviously we want more speed, but that more speed that we require goes through the grip of the club. It ends up in the club head, but it goes through the grip. Think of it logically. Your only contact point is to the club. So whatever we want the club head to do has to be something that we do via the grip. So important we understand that what we do, the input that we have into the grip, is going to directly affect what the club head does. Now, we spoke a little bit about a draw movement. Let me put that ball on a tee. And I want to do this little demonstration again, but when you're looking at it from down the line. I'm going to make this slightly more exaggerated. Again, we're going to go index finger and thumb. When I get to this position here, the club head is behind my hands as you look at it. Now, relative to the golf ball and relative to me, where does this grip end of the club go? It starts to go back towards me. It's not going towards the golf ball, it's coming towards me. This is that first little exercise we did. When it comes back towards me, it kicks the club head out towards the golf ball. If I put the club in this position, I move the grip out towards the ball, it would have the opposite effect. It would move the club in towards me. So when I want to hit a draw, where do we need the club head traveling relative to the target? Well, the club head has to be traveling to the right of the target. Has to be. That's how we hit a draw. However, the grip of the club should be moving left of target. And you can see that there. If the grip is moving left, the club head is moving right. That kicks the club out, and as you already said, it starts to square it up naturally. Now, so many golfers, when I coach them and they're trying to hit a draw, they are trying to force everything out to the right-hand side. If the grip is going out to the right-hand side, we're not tapping into those natural forces. And when the grip starts to move out to the right, what is the face doing? It's being left open. And again, I'd love you to try this. You know, put yourself in a position here and force the grip out to the right, and you'll feel the face will stay way open and it will lack speed. And when that happens, what do? We start to get involved with our hands, and it starts to feel like we're manipulating the club, and it starts to feel like a draw is hard work and really inconsistent because it's done by you. When we start to hit shots the correct way, we get from face on, we get the grip arcing in this fashion, And when we look from down the line, we get the grip moving from closer to the ball to in towards the body. The grip is moving left as the club head is moving right.